You can see how worn this 5th gear shift fork is. Get it over here where you can see it. There's a couple of tabs that you're supposed to have on each side of the fork. They're completely worn down. It's worn smooth and got up over. There you can see little remnants of that tab. It's worn way down. Apparently they don't make this part anymore. It's discontinued. So I'm going to try first to weld on this. If I can't build it up with some weld, then I'm going to use this piece of aluminum here. I'm going to machine it down and see if I can't just make a new shift fork for this thing. Alright, so you can kind of see there it's pretty terrible welding, but I attempted to build up where this shift fork is worn down, where it was rubbing. We'll see, maybe either chuck it in the milling machine or just use a die grinder or something to get it back to where it's got enough meat to bite. I really tried to build up on the ends where those tabs were, so I think this may be able to do it. Just going to have to see how much we can grind down.
Always think about that hole right there. Want the magnet? Snap ring pliers right here. Here you go, sir.
Cover that hole.
Yeah, I don't like that hole. Got it. And about that one. Okay, got it. So that may be the best way to
Hold the light up. I'll put it on.
Turn, right? It's universal.
No, it's got flats.
Yeah, I know, but can it flop over? Can it turn over?
There.
Is there a special spot for these though? It looked like I just saw a flat spot on there.
Yeah, I've got it lined up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that bottom ring is what. Using pick, yeah.
Well, we screwed up already.
Let's start over. Here,
Maybe get back a little bit with the camera. How close are you? Too close.
Okay, I got you started on the ring, good. Going down. Okay.
Okay, now
That's
we
awesome.
can do it.
I like that. Pick her up.
Lift her up. There it is.
Spin it around. That's
Now we've got.
neutral. That's anything but fifth, correct? Yep. And then when it goes down, it's fifth.
Yeah.
Turn it as he's moving it.
Turn transmission.
Yeah.
Let me get this put in.
Roll pin. You need your punch. Man, that's what I was worried about lining up.
We're back in business.
Alright, now we can work it from here.
Look at that.
And it spins.
You're not filming.
Huh?
That's beautiful.
I said the camera was off. Yeah, it's got just enough play. There's no way that's coming off anytime
Nope.
soon.
At least for 100,000 or more.
So try to shift
Okay.
it maybe.
Oh,
Yep.
I get
Go
you.
ahead. No, you're good.
Okay, and then to get fifth,
Other direction. There.
that it? Yeah, starting. Yeah, starting the whole transmission.
Well, no, it ain't over the synchronizer.
Should be, and then it should have came. There it went.
There.
There we go. Now we're
Now
in fifth.
you're in fifth.
And you can feel it in the transmission earlier. Yeah, it's a hard turn, so that's high speed. That's it. Beautiful, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think we got it.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here.
All because of the talented welder, man.
Now shift your back out.
Okay, coming back out.
Yep, you can see the synchronizers, so yeah, everything's in good shape.
Because I studied it today to see how that worked. And let's see if we can get her. There it was. Yeah, now I got the rhythm down.
Here we go, I'll shift through the gears real quick. Fine, shifts smooth as ever, just as smooth as the other gears. So we picked up this 2011 Ford Fiesta for 1,900 bucks. We knew, the buyer told us that it had trouble with fifth gear. It's got a manual transmission, it's a base model, manual window, cranks, everything. It should be a pretty reliable car. I think it has the 1.6 liter it's got the 1.6 liter motor in it. It's real clean. It only has 122,000 miles. So we got it planning just to use it as a work car, and we're just going to avoid fifth gear and just run it 1 through 4th for a while until we decided how we want to proceed with the transmission. Well, we got it home. We were playing around with it a little bit, trying to figure out why fifth gear was out, and it ended up actually popping itself into fifth gear. We couldn't get it back out, so therefore the transmission was essentially stuck in fifth. If you put it in, it would shift in another gear, but then you'd have 2 locked in at the same time, which is a recipe to blow up the transmission if you're not careful. So we decided that our best option was going to be just to pull the tranny out and try to figure out what is going on with it and see if we could fix it ourselves on the cheap. So we got in there, pulled the transmission. Unfortunately, I didn't get video of it, but if you do pull the transmission, I'd recommend getting a month subscription to All Data, and it tells you all of the steps you need to take, every bolt and fastener to pull out, connector to unhook, which was pretty handy of a reference. And then if you undo the motor enough and keep it supported, you can actually shift it, the rear end of the motor that's connected to the transmission, you can shift it towards the front of the car a little bit to give yourself to pull the transmission, to give yourself more room to pull the transmission out and away from the frame. I would also recommend pulling both CV axles out. It gives yourself a little more room to work with. So we pulled the transmission out. we take it, we set it down, we see the oil's coming out, and it's basically a metallic gray color. We checked it with a magnet. It wasn't magnetic, which seemed to be positive news. Well, turns out, as you saw from the other video, it was all aluminum shavings. So as you can see, we pulled the back cover off. Fortunately, on these transmissions, there is a cover for 5th gear, and you can pull 5th gear apart, or at least get the shift fork out without having to do any major disassembly on the transmission. So it's actually extremely handy to have that cover. So you pop the cover off the back. We quickly saw that the shift fork that slides the collar to take transmission in and out of 5th gear, the tabs on it's got a couple tabs towards the edges of both sides of the shift fork were just completely worn down, to the point where the shift fork was actually sliding up and riding over on the edge of the collar outside of the groove, and that had worn it down enough that it wouldn't even grab the collar anymore. It was just completely roasted. So we called around to several dealers, looked online first, could not find a replacement. Everywhere said discontinued. Dealerships said the same thing. They quit manufacturing all of these shift forks. You could find some of the other ones still available online, but 5th was sold out everywhere. So we decided we were going to try to find a transmission to pull and get one from, but there weren't any close to home. So then we decided, okay, well, we'll either weld up and build up on this shift fork, or I'll just try to machine a new one out of some aluminum plate. Well, we ended up actually welding on it. It worked out better than I expected, even though it's cast aluminum. So anyway, we built it up with weld, ground it down, built it up a couple times, got it where it fit just right into that groove. As you can see, we reassembled it, and the thing works great now. I'm sure it's probably going to wear in just a little bit. We're going to change the transmission fluid again here in 100 or so miles to get any remaining shavings or new shavings out. The good news is it's aluminum, and it's not going to have nearly as negative effect on the rest of the transmission as steel particles or iron particles would. So anyway, it's all back together now. Shifts fine, runs great. We've got a pretty good car. So if you do have this issue, I think it was around 2008 to 2012 model years that had this transmission in them. For the Fiesta, there may have been some older Focuses that also had it. So if you do have 5th gear go out, that's probably what it is. If you can find somebody that can TIG welded aluminum, you can pull that shift fork out, have them build it up. You can grind it down pretty cheaply and get your transmission back in service without a whole lot of money, other than that you'll just have to probably pull the transmission. You could try to pull that back cover off for 5th gear and see if you could take it out while it's still on the car, but it's going to be pretty tight in there. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions about it, leave a comment down below and I'll try to provide some more answers. Thanks.